Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Studio 216.
Spring break is coming up. We only have one more week of school.
Thank goodness, Will. I'm really looking forward to break from school.
Me too, Jack. I can't wait to be at the beach and sleep in every day.
Speaking of spring break, let's hear what Chaminade students have planned for the coming week.
Tiva in Florida. Oh yeah, I'm going to be playing the new Fortnite season.
I'm going to sit around my bed doing nothing.
I'm going to Indianapolis for a few days. Then I'm going to visit my aunt in Ohio. And then I'm coming back here and playing video games, mainly.
For spring break, I'm going to California, and I'm going to be there for a while. And we're taking my dogs.
I like peanut butter and Grant Patriska. Hi there, Grant. Anyways.
My name is Mikey, and for spring break, going down to California to watch my sister play volleyball. And then after, I'm going to Chicago for Olympic development program for water polo.
I'm going to Colorado for skiing.
For spring break, I'm going to spring training in Arizona.
For spring break, I'm going to Rosemary Beach in Florida.
I will be going to Cancun, Mexico for my senior spring break trip. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm going on vacation to California.
I'm going on a cruise.
I'm staying home and I'm gonna grind Fortnite all day.
I'm going on a cruise with my mom and grandma.
Wow, that sounds fun.
Sure does, Will. Moving on, we have a couple of announcements to go over.
First off, there's a dress down day tomorrow, sponsored by the LLS Club. Also, there are parent-teacher conferences this Thursday, so make sure to be on your best behavior in class.
Thursday is also a half day, so make sure to get home early and rest up for your spring break plans.
For our next segment, making its return, we have From the Archives, featuring Gavin Cunningham sharing information about alumni in the armed forces.
Hello everyone, welcome back to an episode of From the Archives here at Chaminade. We haven't done one of these in a while, but we have a special occasion we wanted to honor and recognize this year. I'm joined today by Gavin Cunningham, our senior, who is with us, who's going to tell us about some research that he's been doing within the Chaminade Archives. So thank you, Gavin, for being here.
Of course.
And for joining us. So tell us a little bit about this project before we get into some of the specifics. You have an interest in military history, as specifically as it relates to Chaminade. Tell us a little bit about that interest and where it came from.
Yeah, so many of you guys may know our school's been around for a while, and given the war times that have happened in our past with America being involved, there has been a great number of Chaminade alums that have served in the military. As of now, I found over 500 names of guys who have served in the military, and over 10 guys have actually died in combat in the service from our school. So it's pretty interesting to look around you and see the high school seniors that are in the age to go off to war. And back in those days, those were the guys that were actually going to war and possibly dying. So I think it's important to honor their sacrifice, and my project is to find all the names of the guys who served in the military and create a sort of memorial on campus for them.
Wonderful. So you've been working with Brother Epi on some of this research you've been doing. Tell me about where you've been doing this research. What is available here? How have you been finding that information?
Right. So it's often been pretty challenging to find information. I've mostly been working with the old school newspapers and pamphlets from graduation to find these names of guys who may have gone off to military academies or enlisted into the service. So we spent a lot of times in the archives over at the White House searching through different documents, as well as archives in the library.
Sounds good. Well, one thing I know we already have on campus, but I know you're interested in sort of updating, it is the monument that's just outside the football field. Can you tell us a little bit more about that monument and kind of maybe what some preliminary ideas are for plans of what you want to do?
Right, so that monument was created by a student for an Eagle Scout project about 10 years ago, and he went through the same process that I went through, give or take, and found the names of the guys who died in the service. So he's gotten most of those names down. I found one other guy that he might have missed, but that was his project, and I'm planning on doing something a little bit bigger, maybe a monument somewhere with all the names listed, their graduation years, service, etc.
And so the alums that you found that have died in combat, are those mostly from World War II or from earlier, or what has your research brought up?
So a good majority of them are from World War II. Europe, Asia, Japanese areas, but we have about 2 or 3 guys die in Vietnam, and that's been the total that I found so far. So just World War II and Vietnam so far.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you brought here today. This is from World War II time, right?
Yeah, correct. So back in World War II time, when we had the Colonel Red and White newspaper, the students would put this together. There was a committee outlining a bunch of certain things during the school year, but certainly during war times, they're a little bit more patriotic of sense and included our alumni in the service. So this was just a large composite of names with their addresses, units, graduation years, branches in the military, etc.
So this is kind of interesting to me to look at here. You mentioned their address. It's not their address like their home address. It's where they could actually be contacted in the military, what base they were at and such. So if another student wanted to be in touch with them, finding a friend that they had or an older friend, something like that. Interesting.
Right.
Stuff for sure. So how many, do you have any information on how many folks have gone off to serve in the military from Chaminade in total, not just died in combat?
Right, so as of now, we have over 500 students that have gone to the military. Right now, my number is somewhere around 550, 560. So it is definitely a very large amount of students, something that I had never thought of before. I would think it's maybe 1 to 2 kids per class, but it was actually a large amount, especially during war times, over half the class going off to war. So.
And I know, speaking of that, and I know your passion comes from you're interested in pursuing a military career yourself, right? What's the future look like for you, or your hope for a future at least?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I'm planning on going to the military as an officer. So that means going to college and doing the officer training. So they're more in charge of the units rather than the enlisted guys who are doing all like the fun stuff per se. But my pathway is probably going to be through a military academy. There's other pathways like ROTC units that do provide full scholarships to kids going to college. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, thanks for all this work you're doing, and it's certainly obviously important work and important information and important service that we should recognize here on campus.
Right.
So thanks again for joining us, everyone, and if you're interested in this topic, I highly encourage you to get in touch with Gavin yourself.
Wow, that's really interesting.
I completely agree. It was awesome to hear about our very own alumni in the armed forces.
To wrap up this episode, we have one final announcement.
Mr. Laurie is doing a pen recycle drive, and we put together a video to tell you more about it.
You're probably wondering what this box is. In an effort to make Chaminade more sustainable, we are relaunching an initiative to reduce waste. With the help of the company Trex, an eco-friendly organization, we're able to take what would be trash and send it to be converted into plastic lumber. This is where we need you. Anytime your mechanical pencil, pen, or dry erase marker no longer works, place it in these conveniently located bins found in each classroom. When this bin is full, either a teacher or student can take the bin to the mailroom to be emptied into the large marker box. With your help, our school community can significantly reduce the amount of waste and harmful chemicals that end up in the landfill. Thank you.
From all of us at Studio 216, have a great spring break. We'll see you next time.